Hey guys, welcome to this review of the Grand Seiko SBGR317. I'm going to just go over kind of the basics of this watch, the specs, the sizing. I'll give you a wrist shot or two, my thoughts on it, and actually why I'm selling it. But we'll get into all of that, the pros and the cons. So, this is a Grand Seiko SBGR317. It's a 40 millimeter watch, and I'll show you that here. Oops. If I can do this properly. There you go, 40 millimeters. The lug to lug on this is fairly short at 46-ish, 46.2. And then the thickness is a little bit thicker at 13.3 with a 20 millimeter lug width. Maybe let's see if we can get it in here. I have to actually get these. Let me undo this. It's always so difficult to get the embarrassingly difficult to do this. Well, that looks like 21. It's, well, guys, it's 20, I swear. I couldn't really get a good fix on that. I guess we can measure at the top, but this is a little, it's 19.8. So it's 20, which is really nice to see. A lot of Grand Seikos are 19, which is super annoying. 19 millimeters is more of a vintage size when it comes to lug width. So this watch has the Grand Seiko caliber 9S65A. It beats at 28,800 BPH or 4 Hertz, 72 hours power reserve, hacking, hand winding, no quick-set date change. Hello. Okay, so let me just clarify. This watch does have a quick set date via the crown. You can just pull it out to the second position and change the date. What I mean and what I'll show you, I used the wrong term, the watch doesn't flip over to the next day right at midnight. It's not preloading the date change. It happens quickly, as you'll see, like around 12:15, 12:20, it snaps over, and it's quick to snap over, but just not right on the dot at midnight. And that's what I meant when I said no quick set date. But it does have a quick set date, just to clarify. Sorry for the interruption. Back to the review. I'll show you that. Which is kind of a bummer. You would think, this is a newer movement from Grand Seiko and it's gonna roll over. It's fairly quick though. Like, it does snap like around the 14-15 minute mark after passing midnight, but it's not quick set, or it doesn't go over right at midnight like the ETA counterparts. Screw down crown. It's I don't think it's threaded that well, and what I mean by that is when it's fully screwed in, the GS logo sits sort of upside down at an angle. It doesn't line up perfectly, which is annoying. It's something that I expect from a watch that's $4,700. It should pretty much be good in every aspect, if not great in some or all. Let's see. It has an amazing dial. Really, the thing that drew me to this watch, and the thing that probably drew you to this watch, is this dial. This dial and the indices and the hand finishing. It's incredible. Look at that. Oh, all the indices with mirror polishing, hand polishing. They just catch the light. And that's stunning to look at. But what makes that more difficult is the AR coating. So there's AR coating on this sapphire crystal, but it's only on the inside, not on the outside, which, you know, makes sense because eventually the AR coating on the outside will wear off, and you're going to be able to see, you know, spots of sort of not residue, but wear, sort of like on old sunglasses. And, you know, it's understandable they would need to, you know, probably replace the crystal or reapply the AR, which is a pretty, you know, difficult process. It's not easy to do. But you know what? With this is a mirror black dial, an incredible dial, inky black, but it reflects incredibly well. I mean, you can see the ceiling of my kitchen. You can see me in this reflection. Because the dial is so mirror-like. And I noticed that you get like a refraction, or you get like a doubling effect of the indices, the logo, the hands sort of bouncing off the crystal, and you see double. You see two of them. It's only in some lighting conditions. I've only seen it really wearing this watch indoors in artificial lighting. You know, you don't, it doesn't really, I haven't noticed it, you know, in natural lighting like we have right now. But it, you know, that was kind of a bummer. You know, I think I'll go over all the things that made me reconsider my purchase of this watch and decide to sell it and move on to it. This watch is sold already, and it'll be going off after this review to its new owner. But, you know, I just, actually, this watch has something to do with it. But besides a few other things with this watch. But, I mean, it's beautiful. The dial is beautiful. It's what totally amazed me, enthralled me when I first saw it in the store, and wow, it is really, really well done. I gotta say, the dial finishing, it's incredible. You're not getting anything like this really anywhere, even at higher price points. The dialing finishing is different, but it's not going to be like this. You know, you could say it's better or worse with, you know, more expensive brands, Rolex, Lange, you know, but you're not going to get something that looks like this. You just don't, and it's amazing. It's a simple dial too. You just have the GS applied logo, the Grand Seiko script, and automatic. It's kind of simple and to the point, and you have a date window. And that's kind of why I ended up buying this watch in the first place. It was sort of supposed to be an everyday watch. You know, it told the time, it told the date, and that's kind of all I needed and wanted. But I already had this watch over here, and I thought they could sort of live happily ever after together, but I was wrong. So this is the 9S65A. I think I was talking about the smallest winding bridge I've ever seen, automatic bridge. But yeah, so it's adjusted in 6 positions and temperature. This one's running -3 consistently in pretty much every single position, which is actually kind of annoying because, you know, I was trying to figure out if like I put face down or, you know, dial up or something, you know, every position to try to get to, you know, 0 or running a little fast, which is what I prefer. But I couldn't do it. It's -3 in every position. So yeah, you're gonna find pretty great consistency of positional accuracy with this watch and with this caliber from Grand Seiko. Also, you can see what looks like a little holographic Grand Seiko lion logo emblem on right in the center of the case back. And that is just a cool little. So, hey, baby boy, how are you? What are you sniffing? You licking my leg? Okay. So yeah, there's that little Grand Seiko line. You can't really see it unless, the light hits it right, which I'm struggling to do right now. So it completely disappears there, and you can get a whiff of it there. Anyways. So it's nice, nothing to write home about. But then onto this bracelet. This bracelet is actually surprisingly really nice. It's got really nice finishing. It's a 5-link bracelet. You see these 3 brushed pieces and these 2 polished bits are all separate. They're held together by screws on each side and then a pin in the center. So instead of like Seiko, which is using pins and collars, this is using pins and screws. And it's just about as hard to size as a Seiko. Just about as annoying to size as a Seiko. So that's, I think, a detractor. I would like Grand Seiko. They'll never do it because they say this is a more secure system than just using a single screw, a one-way screw going in. But, my response to that is that there's multiple points of failure for this, and it might be more secure if the person does it correctly. But since there's more parts, it's more complicated, I think you increase human error by having 3 different pieces to secure a single link. The clasp is really nicely finished, or the swing arm here, it's polished and then brushed really nicely, actually. And then it's beveled as well. So it's gonna, when you close it, that part is going to really help your wrist move and bend. That's really nice. And then this fingerprinted, engraved GS logo and high polish, that's really nice as well. But there is no micro adjust on this, which for me was okay. I was able to take out both half lengths and just use the full lengths and get a great fit. But you know what? That might not be everybody, They really should have micro adjust on this. That's a big letdown, to be honest. I didn't know that going in, that they didn't have micro adjust. I didn't realize that when I purchased this watch. But again, it was okay for me. But you might buy this and it might not fit you, which would be insane. And the bracelet is very nice, though. It's very, very fancy. This watch is actually a lot more fancy than I realized. I saw it once in the AD and I was blown away. And then I sat on it, and then I finally pulled the trigger. I bought it. And I was wearing it and I realized, man, this is a really fancy watch. It's not very tooly. I thought it could be sort of more everyday with, these brushed bits. Being black, I thought it would, wear down pretty well. But I felt like this was something you need to wear with like a suit. And that's not me. So that's kind of the main reason why I decided to sell this watch. Also, no lume, so that also increases its like fanciness. You can still read the time pretty well in low light, but you have to move it around. You have to find that light source to bounce off these polished surfaces to read it. It does not like as quickly as looking down, seeing the lume plots and knowing the time. So I know everybody says you don't need lume with a Grand Seiko, and that's true, you don't. It still makes it more difficult to tell the time. But it's a great watch. It's so well made. I think there's some design elements that I don't agree with. There's some design elements that I think are just straight up wrong, like no micro adjust here. I can live with the thickness because you're getting a more robust movement. And with this Zaratsu polishing, this watch doesn't look thick on the wrist. It feels pretty heavy, to be honest. and it is heavy. I don't have the way. Let me get my scale. 1 second. What units shall we use? What do we have here? Pounds and ounces. Let's use ounces. My food scale here. So this is size for my little over 7-inch wrist, and we're at 5.11 ounces. Let's do grams. Milliliters? Grams. 145 grams. You feel that. You feel that on the top of the watch. Not so much the bracelet. The bracelet's very comfortable, but it feels top heavy, kind of like a lot of Seikos and a lot of Grand Seikos. They're not thin watches, but again, they're very, very robust. Okay, bring this back, wipe it up. The Zaratsu, I didn't talk about the case finishing. The case finishing is superb. Look at this. Oh my God, that is amazing. You know, even though I'm selling this, I definitely want to get another Grand Seiko. Maybe something with some lume this time. But man, I just realized this wasn't the watch for me. And it was unfortunate. I had to wear it for a little bit to realize that and see all these things. Yeah, what a great watch. Let's see. So this is the watch. I bought this 1 week before I bought this watch. This is a Casio Oceanus OCW T200. This is an aside. This is kind of, the review is complete. I'm just kind of completing my thoughts of why I sold this and then keeping this. This is a $4,700 watch. This is about a $500 watch. This Casio. The Casio does everything I need for an everyday watch. It tells the time, it tells the date, it has lume, it is always on time with atomic timekeeping. I bought this watch the day before daylight savings time. I woke up, this watch had set itself already for daylight savings time. So this watch and my phone were the only thing, and my computer were the only thing that had the correct time. Everything else, wrong time. And this was spot on, millisecond on. And, you know, there's great versatility in that. As an everyday piece, I really value, you know, accuracy. And yeah, I didn't realize that until, and you know, lume, legibility. I didn't realize that until I got this and was wearing it. And also ruggedness. This is definitely not as fancy of a watch. It's Casio, you know, it's bracelet is definitely not as good, but it's, you know, oyster-like, brushed with some polish, but these are actually polished bits. It's hard to tell. They kind of blend in there. You can see the polished. So, you know, it still has a sapphire crystal. It's, you know, a tough movement. Tough as they come, really. And yeah, I realized I really just want tool watches. I don't want something so dressy. But this is a great watch. It really is. That date window. Let's zoom in. Look at, this is just, if I could just look at this watch and not wear it, which would be a complete waste of money. I can't do that. But look at the date window. It's framed, and that's not step down. It's sort of angled down, and you still have two. That's two separate. No, that's one marker on the side. Really nice second track going around. Just a beautiful, beautiful watch. But overall, not for me. And you know, there are drawbacks to this watch. If you're looking at this, it's a dress watch. It's not, even though it has a date function, it's still very dressy. If you're wearing, you know, collared shirt, suit and tie, this is for you, I think. You know, it does have a screw down crown, so there is versatility in that, but it's so, you know, I forgot to mention, I was so afraid of scratching up this beautiful Zaratsu polishing. You know, this is hand polished, it's handmade in Japan, and I felt bad, like bumping it, knocking it. I know you should wear your watches and feel, you know, sort of proud if you get any sort of scratches on them. It's just, you know, a mark of true wear, but this is just too nice almost. I just want to look at it, and I realize I get more joy of just kind of looking at it as an amazing piece of engineering and artisanal skill rather than a timekeeping device on my wrist. That's just me. That sounds ridiculous, maybe. Anyway, so it is sold. It's going to get shipped off via USPS, which the buyer is asking me to ship FedEx, but I don't like that for various reasons. But what do you guys think about this watch? Do you think it's everyday, or do you think it's dressy? Question 2 for you. How do you ship your watches, your expensive watches? Use FedEx, UPS, USPS? Tell me why. Tell me why to those 2 questions, because I would like to know. Anyways, that's the review of the Grand Seiko SBGR317. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Stunning watch. Not for me. All right, see you guys later.